Welcome back, one and all. It's time. We're back after 2 months, a month and a half,
What? Yeah.
a
Yeah.
month and a half. We're back,
I mean, this felt like the best, the biggest and best thing to jump back in for, you know?
and the best month and a half of our lives.
Yeah. 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 Because, I mean, honestly, I've been dreading this coming back around. I hate podcasting. I hate movies. I hate talking, and I definitely hate talking about movies on a podcast. So, really, just,
A
I just want to
combination of
let you all
terrible
know.
things.
Really, yeah, I want to let you all know that I don't want to be here. And I don't appreciate the support, the likes, the clicks, and the follows. Happy 2025, everyone.
We did do an episode in 2025. We actually have got one out from the 2nd of January, I believe.
Okay. Well,
Um,
now I feel stupid.
how you feel, Dan? Yeah, we're back. Nothing's come out yet this year, like at all, really.
No,
So,
there was nothing that we deemed
nothing of
worthy of our
note.
conversation.
No, no, I've seen a few films this year. Nothing I could say anything about, to be honest with you. How about we kick the year off again for the second time
I've got so many movies to talk about that I've seen since
since
we
the
last
2nd of
checked in.
January?
Yeah,
Really? How many
I've
films
got,
have you watched since the 2nd of
I've
January?
watched one, two, three, ooh, four, five, six, seven, eight, and then including the two that we're talking about today, 10.
That's three more films than I have.
Whoa. Is that
No, that's
including
not true.
today's two
Two more
movies?
films than I have. No, it's not. Well, yeah, no, it's I've watched 8 films this year.
Okay. Well, then we've got a lot to tell you about.
We do. We got a lot to tell you about, ranging from good to bad, I think.
Because the thing is, I mean, some of these movies I watched now over a month ago, so I'm just gonna have to base
Yep,
my Letterboxd reviews. Follow me on Letterboxd. Mark Wahlberg fan, all one
that's
word.
you.
That's
Sorry,
me.
that is Donnie Wahlberg fan me then.
I think you're Donnie Wahlberg. Yeah, I
One
think
of
that's
one of my accounts is the one I use is not.
one of your many, many
One of my two
Letterboxd accounts.
letterbox accounts. I'll have you know.
Um, do you wanna give us our first movie?
Yeah, should we trade movie for movie that we've watched
Let's
in
do it.
very brief?
Starting
So
starting from least recently watched.
least recent, so the ones we watched first this year.
Oh, you know what? Actually, if I've got more movies than you, I should go first, and then we can probably
Yeah,
even out.
we'll work it out. Okay, what did you watch first this year?
First movie I watched this year after the holdovers that I think I spoke about last time, maybe because I really liked
Yeah, I
it.
believe you might have mentioned it briefly.
Um, I watched The Apprentice, which
Yeah,
you
actually
did
we spoke
your
about that one, didn't
review
we?
of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spoke about that, but I haven't told everybody listening at home what I thought about it. And
What did you think
let
about
me
it?
say, I second your opinion.
Thought
I
much
thought
the
it was
same as I
really,
did.
really good. I thought it was really good. I thought it was, you know, pretty pretty frightening,
Yeah.
given, the real world aspect that of course we're all currently facing and dealing with today. Um, I thought it looked great. I thought Sebastian Stan was fucking brilliant. I thought he played that role so well without doing what you might worry might end up being like a kind of like hammed up impression of a guy who's very easy to do a hammed up impression of. He played the character really, really well. To just brilliant, just really, really. And Cone. I didn't know
Yeah.
anything about this guy before I watched it, and really, really bizarre, fascinating character, and incredible to make a movie where Cone, this guy who seems like a real sort of piece of work, ends up being your kind of slight, kind of like sympathetic, kind of the character of the two main characters. He's the one who you start to feel almost sorry for in comparison to this Trump character, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Insane. Um, just I thought a brilliant biopic.
And
Which
a whole review that we've done about that just to sort of,
yeah,
you can go and
Josh
listen to
Josh
that as
watched it when
well.
it came out, so and so did a solo review. So you can pop back and see what he had to say. It was kind of almost, you know, it would be a little bit of a similar watching experience, I'd say, to like an American Psycho or something like that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
actually, yeah, that's
um,
fair.
if it weren't real, but devastatingly, it is real.
I watched Civil War, kind of keeping on
Captain
a sort
America
of
Civil
theme.
War?
Not Captain America Civil War, no.
Ah,
Alex
then I don't want to
Garland's
hear
Civil
about it.
War. That's okay. Moving on. Um, no, good movie. Not one I'm really going to go into depth on.
Going just president to president real quick, is that not
Mm,
executive produced by one Mr. Barack Obama
is
or
it?
something like weird
I
like
don't know.
that? I feel like he had something to do with that film.
Maybe. Yeah, I can.
I think he was potentially a producer on that movie.
I can believe it. Yeah. I mean,
Fact check me
don't
in the
quote me on
comments.
that because I didn't say it, but don't quote us on that. But yeah, I can believe it. I like Nick Offerman and he plays the president in it. I like who else do I like? I like Kirsten Dunst. I think she's pretty good in
I
most
like Kirsten
things.
Dunst too.
Yeah. The sequel. I like
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons, who I believe is her husband. I didn't necessarily think it was as good as sort of hype would have you believe, but it was
hmm
yeah, it was solid. I mean, yeah. I kind of just it was fine, you
It was
know.
fine.
Ex Machina was probably better. That was Alex Garland's other film that I've watched
Oh, with the robot girl
with the robot
and
girl.
Poe Dameron.
Yes, Oscar Isaac, who I like, and Domhnall Gleeson, who I also like. And but it was also better than Annihilation, which was another Alex Garland one.
Okay. That's good.
Um,
So a nice middling
nice
entry from
middling.
Alex Garland there.
Yeah,
Well
if
done
you're
him.
yeah, if you're a big fan of Alex Garland movies, which someone probably is, I'm sure it's for you.
It's one to check out.
Yeah.
It's one to think about.
Yeah, it's like a real fun way to start off the new year, isn't it? Like you see the new year and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna sit down and watch Civil War
Of
and not the
course.
Captain America one. It's not a super optimistic way to start a new year, but then neither is The Apprentice, so actually
No.
fair enough.
Yeah.
What'd you see next?
The next movie I watched was um, George Lucas's first movie, American Graffiti.
Any good?
Uh, you know what? In hindsight, I did enjoy it. I quite like it's just it's a very of a time kind of slice of life movie about a bunch of kids who are all graduating high school and they gotta they're driving around town and they gotta, you know,
Power
they're
converters.
making relationships and you're
They're
picking
picking
up
up
power
power pack. Yeah,
converters
sweet.
from the Toshi station. They visit the Toshi station. You know, they're kissing, they're romancing, you know, they're getting into trouble, they're getting into scrapes, and they're all going off. And then it's kind of like I don't know. Have you seen Dazed and Confused?
Some of it, yeah, I'm aware
It's
of
the
the movie.
same. It's the same thing.
Same movie.
Same deal. Same. Um, but you know, nice. A nice film.
Nice.
And then the end credits have got one of those things where it goes like, this character went on to do this character went on to
I
do
like
this,
those
and
things.
one of them dies in Nam.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
crazy.
mean, fair enough. Yeah, no, I always like those things. Um,
It's got the sort of classic, you know, to be fair, actually, it's not that bad, but there's definitely moments of that sort of George Lucas dialogue where you know, you think it's like the kind of the bare minimum needed to serve the conversation
yeah, I think
in a
George
quite
Lucas.
unhuman way.
No, the next one I want to talk about is I watched Gladiator 2. We already talked about that. I watched it the second time.
hmm Any
Fell
more
asleep.
thoughts?
I kind of watched like a match of the day highlight reel of Gladiator 2. I was in the cinema and I was tactically nodding off throughout it, but I
Nice.
woke up for all the best
For all
bits.
the
And
big
so
moments.
and it was actually really fun that way.
That's
It
good.
was a much better film when you sleep through two-thirds of it. No, the next one I watched was We Live in Time, an Andrew Garfield and
hmm
Florence Pugh film. Very good, made me cry. Um,
I would quite like to watch that.
yeah, it's good. I don't. really know what I expected from it, but it wasn't what I expected.
Would you call it a rom?
I'd call it a rom with not much calm.
Rom, hold the calm.
Rom, hold the calm, please. I don't want any of that around here.
None of that calm.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's Andrew Garfield and his girlfriend has cancer and they have a kid.
Oh shit.
So it's like Marley and Me, but if instead of the dog, it was his
Is a
girlfriend.
girlfriend. That's a fucking, I mean,
And
that's a nightmare.
that sucks. You know, that's a
Less
sucky
than
film to
ideal
watch,
scenario.
and a sucky thing to live through.
Yeah,
But no, it
I'll
was brilliant.
say.
It was very good. I like Andrew Garfield a lot, so I'm kind of biased. I like Florence Pugh. She's very good. They're both very good in it. They're both probably playing people that they're probably now a little bit too old to passably play. I find it a little bit funny when Andrew Garfield is like 40. It's like playing a 24-year-old now. I kind of don't buy that, but
Hmm
but
hmm
yeah, yeah, really good. I watched that one. What did you watch next?
Next movie I watched, 1988's Vampire's Kiss. Um,
Never seen it.
it's it's a Nick Cage movie. I gotta say, I mean, I was just about to go on my Letterboxd review to see what I thought of it to give more detail. My Letterboxd review is not sure what to say. And that's pretty much it, I
That's a
think.
good start.
It's just kind of, I don't really know. It's just kind of horny. It's an instance I felt like of Nick Cage's Nick Caginess kind of, sometimes I don't know if it's like a director he's working with and it can really play to the strength of the movie, and sometimes it's just like, oh God, for fuck's sake. And it's like
Is he a vampire?
yeah. But then also I think that maybe he isn't really a vampire and he just thinks he is and he's going mental or like something. But there is a
Okay.
vampire in it, but it's just like it's I don't really know, to be honest. I just thought it was
It was a
it was
movie.
it was quite a fun watch, but it was
Yeah.
pretty shit.
Yeah, no, that's valid.
On to the next.
The next is what I think is a contender, possibly. Maybe I'm being cruel, but I don't think so. For the worst film that we've talked about, who knows?
Whoa.
Which is I watched Love Hurts, in a short round from
Oh yeah,
Indiana
you
Jones.
mentioned. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he's got his own film, and that's really good, and he's really likable, and I like him in other things such as Loki and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
hmm
But let down big time. Yeah, it feels like a movie, like when you're like playing Grand Theft Auto and you like go to the cinema to watch a film, like it feels like a movie they might air in that, or like, well, I mean, they're all like,
Brutal review.
yeah, they're all like porno movies in that game, but like, you know what I mean. Doesn't it? Didn't it? I don't know. I really don't know. It's awful. Like, we went to see it, and it was like 2 minutes in, and I was thinking, should we get up and leave? And I think my girlfriend was also thinking the same, but we kind of both thought the other one liked it, and so we stayed through the whole movie. And literally, the moment it ended, we both turned to each other and went, "That was shit."
That sucked.
And we've never done that for it. Like we've never been that appalled by a movie. It was just hideously awful. And I
Really
don't
bad.
know, like I don't want to drone on and on and on about this, but I don't know if it was supposed to be like for adults or for kids. Like I really don't know the demographic. I don't get any of it. It wasn't funny and it tried to be
Yeah.
funny, but also was it trying to be funny? I don't know. Baffling movie. And I feel so, so sorry for some of the cast because some of them are like very likable actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't watch it. It's like not even fun bad. It's just bad. Yeah. How about you? I hope you saw something better.
High School Musical.
The first one only.
Um, for now.
Okay, for now.
First,
That-
the
I'll
first High
watch
School
through.
Musical. Okay, first time High School Musical. Maybe a hot take. I'm not
Mm.
sure. I don't know how people feel about these movies. First one, worst of the three.
But you haven't seen the other ones,
Well,
have
I
you?
haven't spoken about them yet.
Oh, but you've seen them. Oh, okay. For now on the list.
Just you
Okay.
wait.
Right. Okay.
High School Musical. Uh, you know. it does what it says on the tin. Can't complain. Zac Efron is, you know, he's he's the it guy of 2006. What can you say?
And not singing, which I think is funny.
Yeah, not singing. I don't know if does he start singing in the following
Uh,
movies, or is it just
I don't know.
he just never does?
I just know that he wasn't the voice of Troy Bolton, at least in the first one.
Yeah.
At least,
He
but I think all.
I always adamantly refused to watch these films because I just thought, High School Musical, lame, girl stuff, maybe. I thought that. I'm not sure. But bearing in mind this movie came out when I was 4 years old, so
Yeah,
cut me some slack. Um, but I watched it with my girlfriend because she was a big fan of these movies when
when
we were
she was
both
four.
of that age. Um, and I did enjoy it, I've got to say, but
Yeah,
not the worst of the three. So just you wait.
this is
And
not
why
the
don't you
Empire
tell us?
Strikes Back of the series.
No, it's
No.
not.
Okay.
This is the I've got I kind of want to say this is the Return of the Jedi.
Ooh. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. Fair. Um.
hit me with
Yeah.
another movie.
Yeah. Well, I watched a movie that I find hard to place within its franchise,
Hmm.
but franchise being a really weird term. Series, let's say for this. Um. But it's a movie you've spoken about, and I watched finally Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul.
Hey,
It is brilliant. It is really
it's
good.
pretty fucking good, isn't it?
Yeah, they did a very good job of finding a new actor for Wallace.
Hmm.
And
You know what? Actually, because I don't even know if we spoke about that when I talked about it. I didn't know that had happened. You wouldn't know
you
if you
wouldn't
didn't
know.
know.
No, I thought the Gromit voice actor was really good as well.
He's brilliant.
They did a
Great.
good job
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's brilliant. It's got a good little cast. There's some really brilliant actors in it.
Hmm.
Um, Feathers McGraw, excellent. One of the greatest movie villains of all time.
Hmm.
His escape plan is very funny because I did think if a submarine can fit through the waterways into the zoo, then a penguin could fit out, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Um, yeah, I find it hard to place within the rest of the series. Is it my favorite? Probably not.
Hmm.
Um, but probably the
Somebody
best
reminded me the
modern
other
one
day.
we'll get.
Somebody was talking about a matter of loaf and death, which I'd forgotten about.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yeah, I totally forgot
Serviceable.
about that one. I just, the only ones I remembered, explicitly were Were Rabbit, Wrong Trousers, and then like the ancient one where they go to the moon.
Yeah,
Totally
a
forgot
grand
about
day
Loaf and
out.
Death, but that's one.
Yeah. Wrong Trousers is the best one by far. That is the Empire
Hmm.
Strikes Back of the series. It is the
Hmm.
darkest one. It is the best one. Curse of the Were-Rabbit, I was too scared to watch for years.
It
Um,
scared the shit out of me when I was a
yeah, it
kid as
really
well.
freaked
Yeah.
me out. There was also a close shave. We forgot about a close
Oh my
shave.
God, a close shave.
Yeah.
What happens in that?
That's the one with Shaun the Sheep where Preston the dog is like turns into a robot as well, and there's like a Terminator bit.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
brilliant movies.
Yeah, they're
Now
all
I'm
really good.
thinking about them. They're all
That's way more
five-star
than I thought there
movies.
were. That's great.
Yeah, and it was a cool little. I liked the farmer from Shaun the Sheep being a little
Hmm.
cameo in this one.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's brilliant. I would recommend it to anyone, and I was very excited to watch it when it came out. But I waited till now, and yeah, excellent, good fun. A solid 4 out of 5 stars. Me thinks, and only because it's not quite as good as The Wrong Trousers, which, as I said, is the Empire Strikes Back of that series. Feathers has gone soft, you know.
Yeah,
He's not on
yeah.
his A game.
I know,
That's
I know. He could have been a bit more murderous,
He could
I
have been a bit
thought.
more murderous. That said, now I'm thinking about it, he was very murderous,
He
and
was pretty murderous.
he caused a lot
Yeah,
more damage in this film than he did in the first one with blowing up a canal boat and like I think
yeah, true.
a bridge, like a
Yeah.
big aqueduct.
Yeah, no, I mean he's causing his more than his fair share of mayhem.
Funny that Wallace. has only ever made terrible inventions and is always a dick to Gromit, and that his gnomes that he invents, that he invents like a robot gnome to do like his handiwork, and that Feathers McGraw hacks that, and it has a very evil setting. I find it
Yeah,
funny that
yeah,
Wallace has
yeah,
gone
yeah,
through the
yeah.
whole
He's put
spectrum,
that in.
including the evil one in case he ever needs it. Anyway,
Could be helpful.
it probably wasn't as good as Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, but what did you watch?
High School Musical 2.
Yeah, the logic follows.
Now,
Presumably 3 is after this, in which case you can bundle them both
just
in if
you
you
wait,
want.
just you
Okay,
wait,
okay,
just you wait.
sorry.
High School Musical 2. Again, not sure if this is a hot take or not. Not the best of the three.
Okay, yeah, I
Um,
don't know if it's a hot take, but yeah.
High School Musical 2, A New Hope.
Okay. I
Um,
never, I never knew that's what they called it. Bold, considering it's the
yeah,
second of the
I
series.
know, I know,
But,
I know,
fair play.
I know. I thought, okay, so this, I feel like Troy Bolton really comes into his own in this one.
Hmm.
It's got the iconic bet on it. I'm sure
Yeah,
you've heard. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, Absolutely brilliant song. He's just turns into a weird kind of like unrelatable knob. He just like becomes a dick. Kind of pushes everyone away from him. And I don't know, I guess maybe like 'cause I suppose, a sports scholarship is quite a big deal,
Mm.
but like not something that I've ever in a million years in my life kind of weighed up the value of. So you're watching it and you're thinking like he is just being like a prick to all of his friends, kind of in some way in the pursuit of this basketball scholarship. And you just think like just like and they're all working the same summer job at like a weird like country club, and he's like rising up the ranks in this country club because he's so awesome, and all the people who are like recruiting for the scholarships or something are all there, and they all know how sick he is at basketball, and they're just like not talking to any of his friends. He's not talking to any of his friends, and then he has a moment of realization where he's fucked it all up, and so he sings "Bet on It," and because he's gonna make it right, he's gonna turn himself around. He's gonna like he can. It's like he can count on himself, and they can all count on Troy Bolton as well. And he's gonna find a way to get everything he wants done, and he does, and it's great.
Good
He
on
gets it
him.
all, I think. I can't remember, but just bet on
Mark
it
of a
really
good,
stuck with
it's
me.
mark of a good film, isn't it?
Yeah, but you
That
know
is the
what?
mark
So
of a good
better than the
film.
first one.
Yeah, but not as good as the third one.
Well, just you wait.
Well, there's not, is there more?
Next one.
Okay, next one. After that, I haven't finished it yet, but I've started watching Carry On with Taron Egerton.
Oh yeah.
It is Netflix's version of Die Hard 2, and
Weird.
yeah, I mean it's that's not what they said. They didn't release it as their version of Die Hard 2, but it's Die Hard
Okay.
2,
Yeah.
and but it's better than Die Hard 2, but worse than Die Hard 1,
Okay.
but also kind of like a very nice, perfect spiritual successor.
Is Wahlberg in this movie?
Wahlberg not in this movie. If he was, I wouldn't have watched it.
What
I'll be
what's
honest.
Wahlberg's recent plane movie?
Oh, he did one called like The Plane or something like that.
Because he currently trying to make loads of movies about planes so that when you
Yeah,
search up Mark Wahlberg plane, it doesn't
to come up
come
with
up
his
with
9/11
him.
quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he is doing that. But no, this is Taron Egerton. It's got Jason Bateman and it's got Theo Rossi, who was in The Penguin that we watched. It's got Logan Marshall Green. I like him. He looks like lots of other different actors, including Tom Hardy. Dean Norris from Breaking Bad fame.
Son
He's
of Chuck.
he's he's Hank Schrader, not son of Chuck. I think that's
Father of
factually
Chuck.
incorrect. No, neither. I don't think either of those are true.
Nephew of Chuck.
Maybe. I don't want to rule that one out, but I
Okay.
don't think so. I think unrelated.
Debatable.
No, either is or it isn't. We can find out. Fact check us in the comments. But it's good. It's set at Christmas and it's Christmas Eve. And is it a Christmas movie? If Die Hard is, then I guess it must be. But doesn't feel so Christmassy. They kind of admit that like it
Oh,
starts with a Christmas
oh
song.
no.
It starts with a Christmas song, and they
hmm
like every so often someone's like it's Christmas Eve, but like Die Hard like has the little bells throughout, and there's like always a
hmm
Christmas party feel. But it's good. Can't knock it. Like a better than average Netflix movie, I think,
Okay.
which I didn't expect.
Just it's just kind of, mid like straight down the line action movie, yeah.
Um, yeah, no, it's like surprisingly good. Taron Egerton is pretty good in everything.
hmm
Um, but like like when you kind of have like when a
I feel like
Netflix,
he's the kind of actor that I feel like I see reasonably often make the best of a middling or bad
yes,
situation.
yes, a bit like a Rami
Um,
Malek. He's
yeah.
often the best part of a bad movie.
hmm
But no, he's good in a pretty good movie. Whenever Netflix do action films, I always think like this is the sort of thing your mum is going to be like, "Oh, let's put on the cool new action film," and it's like really not, but like it really just kind of appeals to like kind of nobody but everybody at the same time. A bit of a love
Yeah.
hurts type situation, like who's it for? But no, it actually is pretty good. Someone making this was a fan of Die Hard and forgot that Die Hard 2 existed. So they were like, let me do a Die Hard,
I'm
but then
gonna.
just did Die Hard 2.
What if I made like a kind of sequel to Die
Like
Hard?
yeah, totally sort of the logic follows that someone who liked Die Hard 1 but hadn't seen the rest would then make the
Would
exact
then
same
make
movie as Die
this?
Hard 2.
Yeah.
It's Yeah, I mean, the difference is Taron Egerton works at the airport. He's not just a police officer at the
Okay.
airport, but he does want to become a police officer. So, like, even the character is like a wannabe John McClane.
Okay. I
Yeah,
see.
really good.
Oh, do you know John McClane he worked in an airport before Die Hard?
So it's a Die Hard prequel.
Yep.
Damn, I never knew that. No, but you know what? I would be absolutely at peace with it if they were like, yeah, this is the Die Hard reboot that
Yeah.
they've spoken about doing. If this was that, like, yeah, fine, whatever. Um, we probably should have done it at Christmas. I know we did It's a Wonderful Life, and I know we did Die Hard, but it's actually a pretty solid modern Christmas action movie.
Next
And
year. There's always next Christmas.
no, I don't think I'll revisit it again in the same year. It's good, but like, it's not Gladiator 2 good, clearly, because I did revisit that and sleep through it.
I'd sleep through it.
Um, After that, what did you watch?
Okay. You're gonna want to brace yourself for this one.
Okay.
High School Musical 3, senior
What?
year.
It would have been really funny if you watched the High School Musical reboot at that point instead of three, skip three.
I didn't know there was a reboot.
Yep, there is. It's a Disney Plus one.
Shit. Okay, well, I'll have to watch that for next week. I
Yeah,
haven't seen that.
this is the
High
new
School
present
Musical
break.
3. Okay, High School Musical 3. I think, and I do actually think this is quite a controversial take. But I think it's the best one of the three. If you hadn't been able to deduce that from my rankings of the last two, this is the Empire Strikes Back of High School Musical. I thought that they've all kind of grown up a little bit. It's obvious they've kind of come into their own as like, a lot of the dance routines and stuff are really good, like actually really good. And like as a musical, it's like good. It's like really quite good. And also because it's a stage musical adapted back into a film, they've incorporated loads of elements of that kind of more like West End style kind of like stage, like kind of like physicality and like the way that it all kind of looks and like in the dance numbers quite often it'll like turn into like a full kind of like yeah like West End stage looking set and it's just quite cool and I just wasn't expecting it at all and it feels like a jump up like a step up in quality from the other two and there's some like shots at the end where it actually looks it's like quite good. I don't know, I was just really taken aback by the fact that I just thought High School Musical 3 senior year is like a pretty good musical. It's like a good film. Um, and I wasn't expecting that at all. Because not that I didn't enjoy the other two, but I wouldn't have said that they were good films. I'd have just said they were fun and I liked them and they were pretty good.
But the
But
third one is an actually good film.
I think the third one is like a good musical.
But how would it? how would it? What if I told you it was like a Die Hard sequel? Would it stack up there? Would it be a good Die Hard sequel like Carry On?
I mean, no, because it
I don't
wouldn't
want
make
to
any
know. I don't
sense.
want to know then. I'm not interested. I'm only this year. I'm only interested in films that would work as Die Hard sequels.
Okay, well, I got one coming up that maybe could.
High School Musical, the TV show.
What did you watch next?
What did I watch next? I watched next Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which I have already seen when it
Any
came out, and
thoughts?
since better than the last Indiana Jones film. I like it, even though I get the flaws. I like it probably mostly just because I watched it in the cinema when it came out. I
Push
think,
mems
yeah, I think that there's a lot of redeeming qualities in an otherwise mediocre film.
in an otherwise
Um,
irredeemable movie.
no, here's the thing. I don't think it's irredeemable at all, but a lot of people do, and I get it. I do.
I haven't seen it, so I can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people do think that. I don't. I think the last one was largely an irredeemable kind of cash grab attempt at making sequels that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull sets up better.
Uh-huh.
I felt that this one organically set up sequels that didn't happen because Shia LaBeouf like went off the rails.
Yeah.
But it still laid out a future for the franchise a lot more interestingly than the last one did, and kind of felt like Harrison Ford was as into it as he ever was going to be, and was not by the
Hmm.
time the last one rolled round.
Yeah.
Um,
Really phoned it in.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's got
That
some.
might be a theme in this episode, I think.
No, do you know? I don't agree.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
agree. I don't agree that Harrison Ford phoned in anything going forward in this episode. I think that he was excellent. Just found out the beloved celebrity and an example of a child being more loved than the parent. Chet Hanks is in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
And you didn't clock that.
No, because oh, no, what I was supposed to clock that a 2008 Chet Hanks was in this film playing student in library.
Was it a white student speaking in very sort of like hammed up patois?
Well, yeah, I mean that should have been a tell as well, but I just
Yeah.
didn't even register because Harrison Ford was doing it too, so it's
Is
just
he
I kind
so
of thought
Chet
everyone
Hanks
was
is in the movie is like an extra?
yeah.
That's embarrassing. That's like that's like actually embarrassing. Because if you've got the ability, I mean, if you've got Tom Hanks as your dad, and you're going to be in a movie, I'd expect a bit of nepotism. Just use it because you've got it, right? You can. You could get a speaking role. But if you're just student in library as Tom Hanks's son, what are you doing?
He plays the Thing's brother in Fant Four Stick from 2015 as well. He plays Jimmy Grimm.
Jimmy Grimm.
Yeah.
That's might be what I'd
Um
describe him as.
Jimmy
You
Grimm.
know, he's
Yeah,
just like
if you
a
couldn't
regular
remember his
Jimmy
name, you'd
Grimm, you
call him
know.
Jimmy Grimm.
Fucking Jimmy Grimm.
Um, yeah, well, I don't know if it's that embarrassing. I mean, I don't think he's hugely into acting. I think it's probably just like, I think it's probably been more thrust on him than anything else. I don't
You
think he
reckon
cares.
Tom was like, Chet, you gotta get into the family
No,
business.
he
You
would
gotta
have
get into
said he would
acting.
have said Chester Marlon Hanks, because that's his
Chester
name.
Marlon Hanks.
You had to get into acting.
And Chester
I don't
Marlon
want to know what
Hanks
he
was
said.
like,
Don't you don't We don't need to do this. We're gonna get the podcast cancelled if you do a Chet Hanks impression.
okay, well, if I did it as a Chet Hanks
Well,
impression,
I
not a
suppose, yeah, I get that
no,
you could get
it's
away
fine.
with that.
That's a grey area that I'm gonna skip around.
So this is me done, other than the two that we've watched today.
I've
But
got two more that I'm just
round
gonna
off
quick
your
fire
list.
through. The first is 2000's Battle Royale,
Okay.
um, the Japanese movie that sparked inspiration for the Hunger Games. It's just essentially just the original
The
Hunger
original
Games.
Fortnite.
It's the original Fortnite, where a bunch of school kids are dropped on an island and they have to fight to the death. And that's a pretty fucking fun action movie. That's good. There was a laugh.
It's weird that you should say that's a laugh because when I Googled Battle Royale, it says in a nutshell, unsettling, vicious, and dark. And you're like, yeah, that's a laugh.
No, but like in a thriller way, you know?
Yeah, sure thing. Sure thing,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah. No, it's like an action adventure, you know,
Yeah, do you know it was
with
made by
dark
the
themes and undertones.
it was made by the production company as the Battle Royale Production Committee.
That sounds, well, I mean,
It sounds like they got one
they
goal in
could be really good at
mind.
this.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'd say they are pretty good at it. Um, I had fun watching that film. And last but by no means least, a few nights ago, I watched Challengers.
Yeah, is that any good?
I thought it was pretty good. I liked the fact that I like the way they. I mean, you'd see if you watched it. It's quite interestingly written in as much as every time you start to think that like one of the three is the guy or girl you're meant to be rooting for, they're an asshole to another one who you then end up rooting for, and it's this kind of constant rotation of like they all suck a bit, but they also are all quite relatable. And obviously that's such a obviously that's just like that's just fucking stories. That's just what stories about people are like. But it's something quite well done about that particular three-person dynamic where it's constantly rotating and constantly shifting.
I've heard
And
good things about it, and from what I've
it's good.
seen, like the bits I've seen, it looks
It's a
pretty
good
good.
sports film. I mean, I haven't seen many sports films, but I think as far as sports movies go, it's pretty good.
Is there much sports
Um,
going on in it? Because from what I could
yeah,
gather, it
and
was
the
like
tennis
threesome the movie.
also, it's not even Threesome the movie. I think they obviously because
Mismarketed.
obviously, you know, sex sells. Why do you think why do you think we're doing so well in the podcasting
Exactly.
game? And so I think, you know, they really went hard on the sex in the trailers and things. But there's just as much tennis as there is sex, if not maybe more tennis.
As with so few movies, I can't think of any other movies where there's just as much tennis as sex. Maybe the B movie,
I
there's a
can think of
bit
a
of
couple
tennis
of
and there's a
movies.
bit of implied sex. I think the B movie is the only sort of movie I can think of that maybe has the same amount of tennis as sex. I'm ready to talk about ready to talk about the movies.
Are you ready to talk about the movies? Are you really ready to talk about the movies?
Um no, I think we should call it a day. All right, thank you for listening, guys.
See you later, everyone.
Yeah, but
We'll come back next week when we're ready to talk
when we're
about the
to
movies.
yeah, maybe we'll be ready to do them next time.
We could talk about the movies while we're
Yeah,
here.
but maybe next week instead.
Nah. Let's just get it out of the way now. Because
All
as I
right.
said at the start of the episode, I fucking hate podcasting. And if I
So
can
we don't
just
want
do
to do it
this,
next week. We
I
want to
don't want to
only
do it
do the
next week. I
movies
just
this
want to do it
week.
this week.
Okay, that's
I
fair
just want to get
enough.
it all out of the way this week.
So we watched a movie made in 19 well, it was probably made in 1989, but
I
came out in
thought,
1990.
I mean, it looked like quite a lot of hard work went to it. I'd say it could have been made in 1988.
So they
I'd
put
work
two
on that
years
movie
of
too.
work into it. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. I
What
mean,
I was going to say is it looked like it had quite a quick turnaround, so I could see it being 1990. We watched Captain America, not Chris Evans, Captain America,
no,
radio show nor actor. Neither of them
no, neither of them.
were in it, but radio host, I should say, is
Yeah.
also a radio show. Like the Chris Evans show is also a thing, but
Is it
um,
still? No.
no, probably not for a long time. Probably not since he tried and failed at doing Top Gear.
Um,
I'm just looking at photos of him, and like obviously I've seen the movie too, but like I mean, just even in photos, like
yeah.
that's a solid choice.
He looks like a Captain America.
Matthew Douglas Salinger, yeah.
Um, okay, first thing, I don't know if this is just like a trait of these kind of like made for TV movies. Because obviously it's edited like a TV show
Hmm.
where it's like we've got loads and loads of stuff going on
Yeah,
right now. Like you know when you watch it you watch a TV show, you watch maybe an episode of something like Prison Break, maybe.
I
And
still
obviously,
haven't,
and
but
because
yeah.
there's so many plot lines, it's all edited together in a way that's like they've got to condense quite a lot of information about quite a lot of stuff into about 45 minutes so that you can get your fill and it stays engaging for the whole time and you're still excited for next week, you know? It's like it's edited like that, but it's a movie that doesn't have really much going on in it at all.
Hmm.
So it just doesn't stop. It just goes at such a weird pace where it's just like ah, 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 ah. But like there's no it's like never satisfying. There's
Yeah.
never it's not like it's building to anything. Like nothing feels like it's like going anywhere. It's just like he's just dead in the next thing's happening. And the next and the next and the next. And it's just like, oh God.
I something I kind of I thought this when we did 1978's Doctor Strange. I don't know if you remember that one. That's a throwback. But
I do I do remember that.
yeah. But the case for both of these movies is like I really can't tell. Like I can't tell who wanted to who if anyone wanted to make these because it's like there's obviously
Yeah.
some people on board who are very passionate and there's like you know someone that somewhere making them enjoys the properties and wants them to look good and the suits look good, but everybody else just like I just don't get it. There's like it's almost like the people are like, I guess we have to make this Captain America movie, but I know nothing about him and I don't even like him. I don't even like the guy.
Let's just
Let's just
let's
do it
make him
anyway.
let's make him a kid with polio. Is that the original story of Captain America, maybe?
No,
Like,
not really. I
no.
mean, like,
And
yeah,
when
but
and
that's what I'm
they
saying is
need a
like,
kid with polio. They're like, he can turn a child with polio into a super soldier. Like, why don't make it a guy who didn't have polio before?
yeah,
I bet when he
that's
became a super soldier, he'd
yeah,
have even stronger legs.
that's my point is who's making these movies because they don't ever want to stick to like they don't ever want to do what they should be doing. Like they don't want to stick to the material. They're just like, we'll do a really good suit, but that's it. That's all we'll do.
The suit, the mask was pretty funny.
Yeah,
The mask was really
I
stretching
mean,
and
it's a
squashing his face around.
yeah, it's of the time, but like for a made for TV movie in
Yeah.
1990, 1990 really isn't that when you've just had the
I know,
Batman
and that because that
movie.
was the other thing I was thinking as well when I was watching it. I was thinking, okay, old school, made for TV, whatever. 1990, the year of our Lord, 1990, gave us such movies.
Well, 1989 gave us Tim Burton's Batman.
Yeah, okay.
Like if we're talking something, also they didn't have fake plastic ears on the outside of Batman's mask. I thought that was really funny that they're not his ears.
You know what? I didn't even
Yeah,
realize
yeah,
that.
no, they're fake ears, and I think that's funny, and they're
That's
different to his
so
real ears.
stupid.
I think that's also funny, is they didn't even like mold his ears.
You know, because there was stuff like at the start when um there's that like Red Skull like animated rat.
Yeah, the weird Red Skull
Like,
rat. Yeah, what was
yeah,
up
and
with
there's
that?
stuff like I don't know, like he's obviously just like a test subject or something, but there's like
Yeah,
stuff like that, and you think, oh, this could be quite cool. That's a kind of cool stylistic looking thing,
yeah.
This is quite, and then and then that they obviously just like blew the budget on that, and like the three
The whole
really
budget
nice
went on the Red Skull rat.
and the Red Skull rat and the Red Skull makeup, which they obviously, there was some kind of dispute there where probably they did a couple of scenes, filmed in it, and then the actor was like, absolutely fuck no, I'm not
Yeah, I'm
wearing
not
this.
doing that anymore.
So we'll just say that he got plastic surgery or something, and now he looks like he's just led Aston Villa to a pretty reasonably like decent performance in the Champions League, and 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 also the three really nice Porsches that the bad guys are driving around. Like that's where the budget's gone.
Yeah, that the entire budget was blown on cars almost immediately, and
And
they were like, "Oh,
that
we still have the
and
film
the
to make."
location. The location as well of the finale where they're
Well,
like filming in some like insane like it's like a castle in probably like Greece or something. Um
do you want to do you want to go through the plot, or like how do you want to do that? Do you want to?
I can try and go through the
You run
plot.
us through it. I mean, it's a bit of a classic Captain America fights Red Skull, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a rehash of the original like MCU Captain America film where he's fighting Red Skull, and there's like that he's getting strapped to a rocket and all.
Mhm.
And
He's fighting because he's fighting Red Skull within the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie. And it's
yeah,
like a
an
90-minute
Italian
film.
boy called Red Skull, as they
Yeah.
say at the start of the movie.
So Red Skull, the movie opens with a bunch of Nazis raiding an Italian family home during the Second World War, and they say we want him for his mental giftedness or something.
Hmm.
Like we want him because he's really clever. Um, and so he gets turned into Red Skull. During the process of the experiment, the Italian scientist who created this, whatever this super soldier serum that they're giving to Red Skull is, she escapes. She goes to America. They find out that, we find out that a certain Mr. Steve Rogers is a young man who suffered with polio as a child. He's signed up for a US military experiment so that he can go and help the
Standard
boys.
Captain America fare.
Standard Captain America kind of shit. So that he can go and help the boys overseas fighting away in Europe. He goes along for his experiment. The lady, the scientist who was running the experiment for the Nazis, she's defected. She
Yeah, they let
turns
her
him.
escape real easy as well, by the way.
Yeah,
They
she
start
just runs
shooting
out
her
the
and
room.
yeah, they shoot her out the window, and as soon as she's like gone out the window or whatever, they're like, ah,
Hmm
well, look at this Red Skull rat.
She doesn't know anything important.
Yeah.
We don't need to
She doesn't
track
know
her
about that
down.
rat that we have.
So she goes to America to. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so he turns up for his experiment. Um, a guy is a Nazi spy in during the experiment, kills the scientist so they can never make another super soldier. So it's just him and Red Skull. That's a kind of important part that they talk about. He then immediately just goes to fight Red Skull and is immediately face to face with Red Skull. They have a really lackluster kind of, shitty little fist fight. He gets beaten, wakes up strapped to a missile, kicks the missile while it's flying towards the White House, is witnessed only by one young boy. The missile crashes in Alaska. Steve Rogers is frozen.
Normally, the end of the whole like World War II storyline is this. Kind of
Hmm
weird that it's not. All of it is so like.
That's
uh
mostly the end of the World War II storyline.
Well, no, again, like I mean, it's normally the end, like all the Red Skull, like all of the World War II stuff
Oh, okay.
is
Yeah, yeah.
all of this is accurate up until this point where they're like, but instead Red Skull is still doing his thing. Kind of weird, but anyway, yeah, do carry on.
He's so um turns out the one witness to Captain America saving the White House was a young boy who then grows up to become the president of the United States, and this is really helpful later on. So Captain America is defrosted from the ice and immediately hunted down by the daughter of Red Skull, who is now just like an Italian, like evil businessman.
Regular Skull.
Yeah, regular Skull. Who's just he looks way less Red Scully now, and they just say, yeah, he had some plastic surgery. And his daughter is now doing a lot of his evil bidding for him. He yeah tries to get Captain America captured and killed, but and in the process, Captain America goes back to where he lived and meets his teenage sweetheart, all grown up into an old lady with a daughter and a husband. And he's like, oh God. And then she gets shot by Red Skull's crew. And so,
Otherwise known as the Nazis.
AKA the Nazis. Um, and so Red Skull? No, Captain America and his ex-girlfriend's daughter go on a mission to go and avenge his ex-girlfriend's life, death. avenge her death. Um, and
You
so
might
they're
say
going.
he's a regular Avenger.
He's. I almost go as far as to say the first
The
Avenger.
first Avenger.
Um,
Crazy how that works.
insane how that all kind of fell into place for him. Um,
And
so
us.
here he goes, off to go and fight Red Skull, go and track him down. He does a bit of sort of tracking him around really sort of picturesque towns in Italy, um, which just seemed like probably they were just having a great time because there's very minimal acting going on, very minimal,
The whole
sort
budget
of
was
like
shot on eating good in Italy.
just a holiday really.
Yeah.
And you've got to make a sort of shit TV movie that the studio's just gonna go, yeah, whatever, good enough. Um, and so Red Skull now at this point has also kidnapped the president. And he's injecting him with like something. And Red Skull's plan, I think, unless I missed something, Red Skull's plan is to kill the president because he seems to think that then he'll become the president.
Yeah, yeah,
Was that what you thought was going on as well?
yeah. I kind of thought that he felt that if he killed the president, he'd take control of America, but that's
That's
not
not
how it
how
tends to work.
that's not what happens at
Yeah.
all. Um, and I don't understand how he was under the impression that it was like a kind of, wolf pack alpha male
Do you
situation.
think the writers genuinely thought that? Do you think they're going to listen to this and they'll go, "What? What? That's not how it works."
I think, like, I don't know. Like,
I
yeah.
mean, the writers are probably long gone, so they won't listen to this.
No,
But
but if they were to listen,
again, only the 90s. But they probably did a lot
essentially,
of cocaine, so they're probably dead.
probably dead.
Yeah.
Um, so Captain America breaks out the president from this like lovely castle that Red Skull is sort of
Regular
hanging around with
skull,
his crony. Regular Skull is hanging around with his cronies.
otherwise
Um,
known as the Nazis.
otherwise, aka the Nazis. But they're the 90s Nazis.
90s Nazis, yeah, yeah.
And
Cool
the
big shoulder
president.
pad Nazis, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
The president, the president recognizes Captain America, luckily, because he's the only witness to Captain America saving the White House.
Also
And he
fairly
goes,
fairly recognizable.
no, no, but not to, but he was top secret. He was a top
Well,
secret
yeah, okay,
project,
okay,
military
fair,
project,
fair.
in this universe, anyway. And so the president goes, "Oh my God, it's you from the photo I took of you on a missile when I was a child." And he goes, "Yeah," and they break the hell out. And then Captain America, in the final moments of the movie, Captain America kicks Red Skull and his daughter, I think. I can't really remember how he kills them, but they essentially both they fall off like off a cliff, and it's Captain America's doing. He kills them both, and then he looks straight down the barrel of the camera and walks away. And and that's like kind of the end of the film. One of the last things he does is a proper fourth wall break, like a hard fourth wall break. Um, that just caught me so off guard. I wasn't expecting it at all, and I mean, I don't know. I think that kind of sums it up. I mean,
I'm a
I'm not
big
sure if
fan
I
of
missed
these
anything.
things. I'm a very big fan of like before they were popular comic book movies like the Lou Ferrigno Hulk and like the Doctor Strange movie we watched. I love
Yeah,
these.
yeah.
I love but can't understand the fact that all these studios were like, so we have the rights to the comic book characters, which we don't want to use, but we have them and want to keep them, so we're gonna make these
We'll
rubbish
make
movies.
something with
Yeah,
them. I
yeah.
don't know. And it's like, because also, yeah, because Captain America at that point, he wasn't like a big household name
Yeah,
superhero.
but they're
So
like,
it was
almost
just like,
like
oh, just no one's gonna fucking check.
yeah, they're
Like,
holding on to it as if
just
they're
make
like,
it.
I think maybe one day this will come good,
Which I mean,
which it did, but
it
not so,
did.
yeah. No, it did come good, but only because they got rid of the rights. Like they were like, yeah, okay, but maybe if we every 10 years we pump out a load of rubbish, maybe one day it will stick.
Yeah.
It's baffling. But I love these things.
I had a really good time watching this movie. I watched it with my housemate, and we were both
Did you also watch it on
baffled.
YouTube? I also,
Always
do
a
you
good
know what?
time.
I quite enjoyed during some of the slower bits is that you can change the speed of it on YouTube. So I did watch some of it at 1.5 times speed. It's a it's a slow movie at points.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of ambling around, but uh also weirdly close to the first Avenger. Very close in story, which kind of obvious because it's pre-existing material, but also like
hmm
very weird.
There's one thing that really stood out to me.
Mm.
There's one particularly really cool shot of a private jet flying through the sky,
Which is
and I
probably
thought,
stock footage.
and
Like
I
they
thought,
probably bought that from
how the
someone
hell
else.
did they do that? Um, and it looks, it was just is I don't know. I just thought that, and I made a note about that.
I just like how
Um,
much of this film is just shots of Italy, like you said. Like there's a lot of it that is just like Italian town, Italian road.
yeah,
Like, uh, and there's things going on, but because it's very much clear that they just really wanted to go and film a film in Italy.
and have the son of J.D. Salinger beat up and get beaten on by Unai Emery.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have loads to say about it. I like it.
Did you also think the Red Skull looked like Unai Emery, or is that just me?
I hadn't thought about it really, but like yeah, I guess. And he looks like a slightly like just found out there is a director's cut of this movie. There's 14 minutes more footage.
Oh,
Yeah. And
oh,
there are a number of scenes showing Steve Rogers coming to the realization that he was always a superhero and he wasn't just a hero because of the serum.
that's amazing.
And
And you know what? That kind of happens in today's
it's
next movie.
exactly what happens, yeah. But unlike today's next movie, Dolph Lundgren and Arnold Schwarzenegger were up for the role of Captain America, which I think is really funny that they considered two very much non all American heroes.
Yeah.
One
How?
being Swedish and one being Austrian.
Yeah. Weird. That would have been super weird, especially Dolph Lundgren.
The shield throwing effects were achieved with practical photography before CGI.
Achieved is
Yeah, achieved
achieved
is
is
loose.
is
Yeah.
generous.
Sometimes it was attached to guide wires. Other times, Matt Salinger employed his skills as a frisbee thrower to toss the shield with surprising accuracy.
Jesus.
Do
Yeah.
do you think that was part of the audition process? You think they were like, "Are you good at
Absolutely.
throwing a frisbee?"
Can you toss a frisbee?
And he's like, "I'm very skilled as a frisbee thrower.
I'm excellent at frisbee throw.
I'm
Between
above
writing the great
average
American novel and other things, my father taught me how.
how to throw a frisbee." I don't have anything more to say about it. I don't mind it. I think it's fine. I think it would be cruel to really rag on this movie because like for again 1990 I have to keep reminding myself of that, but for the standard of like B list like
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
comic book movies at the time, like yeah, it's
It was
fine.
fine.
It's kind of fun, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did it age well? No.
No.
No, really poorly. I
Really
still like the
badly.
costume, even if it makes him look a little bit silly. I just think it's cool-ish
Yeah.
for the
It's
time.
is fun.
1990, a world in which Michael Keaton's Batsuit existed.
Yeah. I that is just
Yeah.
crazy. I just guess I mean it's just difference in budget, isn't it, really? End of the day.
Yeah, actually, I think that people kind of assume that Captain America was then what he is now, which is
Yeah,
like
which
not
he
the case
absolutely
at
wasn't.
all. And none of the Marvel heroes, other than Spider-Man, were. Like nobody cared. Hulk and Spider-Man, maybe.
hmm
Yeah. Anything else you want to say? Do we want to should we refresh the review system, the rating system for this?
Yeah,
Is
go
this the
on.
start point? Yeah. So we'll ignore whether it was better or worse than anything. Captain America 1990 is the best movie of all time as it
It's the best
stands.
movie we've
I've
ever
never seen a
seen.
better movie than this movie
Neither have I.
until maybe the next movie.
I also haven't, don't think I've ever
Oh,
seen a
also,
worse movie.
it's long, an hour and
It's
40
like,
minutes. Like I know
yeah,
that's not like super long for a
but
movie,
it's a
but it's
bit
long for
too
one of
long for
these.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, for a made for TV movie. I don't
yeah.
want any more than an
That's a lot of
hour.
TV.
That is a lot of TV. Yeah,
Yeah,
this came out at
elaborate.
Christmas as well.
Ugh, God.
Can you imagine sitting down for the
Or you just
family
have it on in
Christmas
the
movie?
background
No, but you wouldn't know, would
while
you?
you're
Put
opening
something
presents and stuff. That would just be on. And then they probably, what, 1990, they probably play a rerun of like Star
Captain America
Wars.
1990
I
again.
don't know. Yeah.
It had a budget of $3 million, which
That's chump change.
yeah,
Captain America, Brave New World.
yeah, it's the next movie we watched, and
Kicks straight off, I thought, quite funnily, with you know, you have that like expository
yeah,
news
everything
story,
is
everything just,
expositional in this movie
and they go, and they go that he has, they're talking about the president's previous grievances with Captain America, and then they
and the
show a
Hulk.
picture of Anthony Mackie
Mm.
as Captain America just to remind you if you didn't watch, if it's been a long time since Endgame, and if you didn't watch um,
His
Falcon and the
TV
Winter
show intro,
Soldier,
yeah,
just to remind you, it's not Chris Evans anymore. Remember? Um, and I thought it was funny that during the mission that it jumps straight into, um, he just like nearly gets beaten by just like a big guy.
yeah, but I thought that was quite, maybe not intentional, maybe though. In Captain America: The Winter Soldier, it's the same. It opens with him doing a mission on a boat, and he just like almost gets beaten by a big guy, and I thought it was quite a funny little.
Oh, okay,
I think
I
it might
see.
have been a callback to that because,
Uh-huh.
like, when I was watching it, I was thinking, "Oh, you're an idiot. You should have taken that super soldier serum." And then I thought, "Oh no, this also happened in the Winter
Hmm.
Soldier, like at the start on the first." Yeah. Um.
Okay.
Well, let's go through the plot quickly. It's Captain America, not the Falcon anymore. He's Captain America, and he's got a new suit and he's looking fresh. He's looking fly. He's fly, no pun intended. And he's flying through into a mission where there's the buyer. And who is the buyer? We don't know. And what is he selling and or buying? We also don't know. Except it's adamantium. They found adamantium and they're
I
selling it.
thought they already had adamantium, but no, maybe
No,
they
they
have it
had
in just in a different
vibranium,
universe.
and vibranium is Captain America's shield, and then
I thought
is the
adamantium is
Black
what
Panther
Wolverine's
stuff.
claws were made
It
of,
is, but he's not in it yet.
but he's
That's a
not in
different
it
universe
yet. Different
Wolverine, so
universe.
you know
Yes.
they've got
Okay.
adamantium. And where did they get it from? They got it from the Celestial that was in the Earth in the Eternals. Did I watch the Eternals? Not all the way
No.
through. Some of it, but not enough to know about any of that nonsense.
Okay. Enough to know
And
anything about Harry Styles?
I know Harry Styles was in it. He isn't in this one. Um, he he had no reason to be in this one, so don't worry. It's not like there's a glaring hole in the plot because Harry Styles is not in it.
Good.
What else happens? General Thunderbolt Thaddeus Ross is the president, but now he's Harrison Ford. Do they make a couple of little nods and winks at the camera about the fact he's a different actor? Yes, they do. Uh, is he a Red Hulk yet? No. Is Tim Blake Nelson playing the leader in this? Yes. Is this an Incredible Hulk sequel? Also, yes. Kind of weird. Has anything else happened in the story? No. More Buyer, more secret adamantium stuff. The leader is doing some mind control. Captain America's largely insignificant to the plot. There's a new Falcon who is also largely insignificant to the plot. There's an Israeli superhero who is also largely insignificant to the plot. I don't know
Crazy
what
to
more
make
to
a,
tell you.
sorry, just real quick. Crazy to make a movie that's meant to be about,
Yeah, I mean, nothing happens in this movie. The problem with this movie, I feel, is that it was so nothing. And
Mhm.
I may have just glossed over most of the plot, but that's because there's kind of no plot. Like, all you need to know is. Sam Wilson is now Captain America. There's a new Falcon. General Ross is the president, but also he's the Red Hulk, and that's all this whole film builds up to is the fact he's the Red Hulk, and it's the only significant thing that happens in the
Yeah.
movie, and it's not even significant because like he's not by the end of it. Like he is, but he's in prison, and
Yeah.
nothing happens. The leader is in it again, and like he does nothing other than just spout some probabilities that he talks about and what is his
Mr.
end goal.
Stats over
Like,
here.
yeah, I really
Mr.
don't know. It feels like they wanted to write an edgy Sheldon Cooper, so they did that, and like
Yeah.
that's it's like really
The
bizarre.
probabilities are saying that the probabilities according to
You've
the
you've said this
probabilities.
before about like characters, which is they've tried to write a smart character, but they themselves are too dumb to write a smart character. So
Yeah.
the character just like
He
is
just
is
knows numbers.
he
He
knows
can just
numbers.
recite numbers
Yeah,
from the
and
top of
he's
his
like
head.
there's a bit where Giancarlo Esposito who's totally wasted in this film
Yeah.
and like
Phoning it in.
phoning it in completely. He says the buyer said there was a 77% chance that you would try and stand and talk me down, and if you didn't, like you would try and take me down. And it's like, yeah, like those are the two things that could happen.
Yeah.
And also like 77% chance that like that's not if
It's
your
not,
superpower is
yeah,
coming up with probabilities and the best you can do is come up with something that there's a
three
three-quarter chance it
quarters.
might happen, and if it doesn't, this is what will, and it's the other obvious. Like what? Like surely you would be like, yeah, the buyer said there was 100% chance that if I got you in this position you would do this foolish thing, and like he'd really
Yeah.
entrap you, but instead he's like, yeah, so I have a hunch.
I
Like
in that
what?
moment, in that fight between, right, okay, also just that particular moment when
Mm.
uh Sam Wilson is he's just driving his car, and then Giancarlo Esposito, I guess maybe because of the probabilities, he knew he was going to be driving there
Yeah,
or something, but
because
he's
there was
just
like maybe
standing
a
in the
good
middle of the
chance.
road ready.
Yeah,
um and then they have a fight. There's a gunfight
yeah,
where and he pulls out at one point. And the only reason I mention this is just because it feels like it's just he pulls out a revolver at one point,
hmm
fires like 8 or 9
just
shots.
straight into Anthony Mackie's. I mean Sam Wilson's chest as well.
Yeah, but then there's a specific and deliberate choice to include a shot of him reloading the revolver
Mm.
where we see only 6 casings fall out
Yeah,
of it. And that I just thought, what, like, why, why would you do that?
I think that
Because because he fires more than that many
yeah,
bullets.
more
And
than
what you can
six.
do in that scenario is because you're completely in control, because we don't really see him shoot many of them either. We just hear them. So as the editor of that movie, with longer than you'd normally have to edit a Marvel movie, can I just say, this,
You
because
can
they've,
no, do you know what you cannot just say because 99% of Giancarlo Esposito was added in reshoots. Like that
okay,
was an entirely like finished like a week before
okay,
the film came out thing. So yeah, you've actually probably got less time than anyone's ever had on a Marvel movie to do it. But
okay,
yeah.
actually then, in which case, fine, and I'll
Mm.
let them have it. But surely you just make the sequence 5 seconds shorter, and
Yeah,
you
so
remove, if you want to include the specific shot of him with the six, it's just like, it's just
this is
lazy.
something I kind of
But
wanted to
it's
talk
probably not
about.
lazy. It's probably not actually lazy, but
No,
it's just
it's
like,
yeah, it's lazy on Disney's part
yeah,
to allow this on quality control. It's not
yeah,
lazy on the editors. I do feel for all of the editors
yeah.
on all of these films. Thing is Marvel or Disney have come out and said, okay, we're taking longer to make these films, and
Hmm.
like we hope that kind of undoes superhero fatigue, but they've kind of not gone, okay, we're going to take longer to like storyboard it and write it and compose all the shots. What they've done is gone, we are going to just like generate the same slop, except what we'll do is do test screenings and just like mercilessly reshoot the film to shit. Like
Yeah.
after it's like already made, and we're just going to abuse the workers like even more. And it like sucks because they could have just spent longer before making the movie. Do you know what I mean? Like spend longer in
Mm,
the planning process, not in the like damage control.
mm. Yeah.
It's mad. I actually have like a um sort of a thing about her, which is that Sabra, who is the Israeli superhero, and we discussed it of her. We're not going to really go into that because it's just like you know our perspectives by now and what we think, but also like yeah, like I don't want to get hunted down by Israeli special forces in 10 years because we said something on the internet. But like yeah. Anyway, her role was significantly reduced for fairly obvious reasons. Really weird considering that was like an obviously sort of like industry planted character, you know. Um
Hmm.
Sidewinder, who was Giancarlo Esposito, was added like right at the end of shooting, like in
Hmm.
reshoots. I can only assume that that's to fill gaps purely because he feels so insignificant.
Yeah.
Big actor, totally insignificant, and it explains why there's all these mistakes because all of his scenes feel really sloppy. All of the writing is like,
Mm.
get the case to the buyer. The buyer wants the case, and we're just like, this is like
It all
what?
feels really last minute.
Yeah, really rushed. Mark Ruffalo was on set and like just cut from the entire movie, which is weird
Why?
because it's a
What?
Hulk sequel. Like, really bizarre.
That's so weird.
Yeah, just like really weird. I think there's probably a better movie somewhere on a cutting room floor, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Um, or a much worse movie, which doesn't bode well.
Um, speaking of Mark Ruffalo being in that, interesting that he was in that, and they didn't even use the opportunity to just give him a little cameo like Bucky Barnes gets.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Spoiler alert. Oh yeah,
Um,
full spoilers, by the way.
yeah. I
We're
mean,
who
I wouldn't.
cares?
I mean, you watch this if you want, but
There's nothing to
um,
spoil. Bucky
no,
Barnes is in it. That's
I
the
know.
biggest spoiler.
And that there got in the cinema I was watching it in, there was one really, really timid clap when Bucky Barnes came on screen. It was so mortifying. I just felt so awful for whoever had done that.
Was it one person? Like it
I
wasn't
think
even like a
so.
little timid crowd effort. Like it was
No, it was
one
like one
person.
person in a can I just say as well, pretty sparsely populated theater.
Yeah, do you know what? I booked this ticket for you. You
Yes,
know,
you did.
context
Thank
here.
you.
No, you're welcome. But so I saw that the cinema was very empty. I did not myself watch it in a cinema, so I had no previous reference point. But it has already made a profit, which I'm
Oh,
shocked by. Like I'm really shocked by that. It cost 130 million to make, and it's made 190, and
from who? From
it's
who?
been out for 5 days. That's not bad going.
You're the only other guy I know who's seen this
And
film.
I didn't pay.
Yeah, I didn't pay either.
Well, the thing is like, yeah, from who, but also this is like the most popular franchise of all time now.
True.
It's probably the only franchise with like $3 billion movies, you know,
Yeah, that's true.
maybe the live action Lion King
Billion.
with
Easy billion.
Mufasa. You know, that's
Easy billion.
$2 billion movies, but I can't think of any franchise that comes close to like just kind of like general popularity. Like they,
Hmm.
you know, even if you don't like comics, you've probably seen a Marvel movie.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
So I can see people watching this, but yeah, it's nothing. I liked the Bucky Barnes cameo, like you said. I like Sebastian Stan. Obviously, we spoke about him earlier, and
Hmm.
I think they have much more um a much more compelling chemistry than Danny Ramirez, the new Falcon, and Sam Wilson. I just
He
didn't
he
feel
just felt like
any.
he felt like a kind of a Peter Parker replacement.
Yeah, another they're doing this in every film. There's always like a teenager that's like kind of like an audience self-insert where they're like the character that's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God,
yeah.
that just happened."
That's
Like,
crazy. This is Captain America. Oh my
and that's
God.
how I wrote though in my notes that every scene with him feels like a Power Rangers scene, and it's not. I feel for him because it's not like poor acting. It's just like the writing is so like, oh my God, look at that thing. Like there's a
Yeah,
thing where he
yeah, yeah,
lands in
yeah.
the forest and he takes some dudes out and he's like, oh, nobody was watching, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah,
just
I know.
do the cool thing and shut up. Like
Yeah.
don't do it. That just happened. Like
And are
people
they
take the
also,
piss out of it, but it's true.
is he just like a regular guy as well?
Yeah, he's just a like yeah. So they set him up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier a lot more. Like he's just been training on that same program that Sam Wilson did. Like
Okay.
he's a wing trooper guy, whatever they are in this thing. But like yeah, he's just been training in the same way that Sam Wilson did originally. Also, really weird that they just strapped a couple of guys like with no super soldier serum to like a hideous like 1,000 mile an hour like set of pigeon wings.
Yeah. Strange.
Yeah, like and also they've only like he's only just got like his flight suit mask. Like that's not been a thing up until now. He's just been doing this like you know
Yeah, just raw dogging it.
raw dogging it with goggles.
But because also because a couple of times, and obviously, your actors have got they've got their contracts with how much time they can spend in a
Yeah,
mask
which
on
is
the
just
movie.
annoying.
But every time he gets into a fight, he takes Captain America retracts his
Yeah, or
vibranium
threw his
helmet.
goggles off at one point.
Yeah, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, but I wrote about this
You're
is
just a regular guy.
it's the only way in which I found Deadpool to be a refreshing movie, which sounds crazy to say Deadpool was refreshing, is that Ryan Reynolds, a massive actor, like A-list actor, is willing to be in a mask for the whole time.
In a mask or
That is
hideous
nice.
makeup.
Yeah, but even then, like
Yeah,
they don't even have to do like hideous makeup anymore because they can totally
because he
just
just
like
looks like
CG
that.
because he just looks like it. He did that in real life. No, but they can just like CGI it now, and
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if
yeah.
people think it'll look bad, like they can do it.
Yeah.
They're fully capable. But like why do all of these characters take their masks off? It never used to be a thing. Why are they allowing this to be in every single contract? At a certain point, I'd put my foot down and be like, no, we're paying you 500 million pounds to be in a superhero movie. You can at least keep the mask on
Yeah.
because it makes no sense from a story perspective. It like often makes it look a bit more jarring when you've got like a real head on a CGI stunt body.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
just keep yeah, I don't know. I did write that like he lands. There's like when the case is being brought to the buyer for the first time, and that's all we know. He lands and there's like five guys, and he immediately just like rips his goggles off and throws them. And I was like, what was the
Yeah,
point of
what are you
that?
doing?
Like that was blatantly just because your face needed to be on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, really bizarre. That said, uh, everyone in it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
I mean
thought
everyone feels like they're doing again,
the
just
best
making
with
the
a
best of a
bad,
bad
yeah.
situation.
Or just
Um,
like a mid situation. It's not even like
yeah.
it's not even offensively bad.
I know. And
I wanted it to be in
that
a
was
way.
that was almost more annoying.
Yeah,
It was just like it was fine. And it
yeah.
was, you know what? It was better than last Doctor Strange movie.
Do you know? Do you know? This is something I've come back round on. At the very least, Doctor Strange was not good, the last one, but
Hmm.
I liked that Sam Raimi at least tried to do something with it, like stylistically. The problem with this
Yeah,
now is it's just
it
like
that it
nothing.
to be fair, yeah, it felt like it wasn't directed. It felt like it just kind
Yeah,
of
none
came
of
to
them
be.
do. It feels like Apple has made it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so
Yeah, yeah,
clean and
yeah,
clean. Not actually, Apple do a really good job with their movies and TV shows, but you know what I mean? It feels like such just like a clinical, clean Apple store
It's
kind of
like a
finish, and it's
it's like a
like,
Windows 11 movie.
yeah, there's no style to it. Like it's a
Yeah, yeah,
tech
yeah.
demo more than anything, and that's the one
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
that I
yeah,
would
yeah,
say. Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness was a pretty objectively poor movie, but there's a lot of stylistic choices made with
yeah.
it, which sounds
Yeah.
like it should be the bare minimum for a movie with this budget. But yeah, it feels like it had no director and no real script writer. It feels like they kind of just like fumbled through like a box of scripts they had, and they were like,
Some
"Do
we'll get something
yeah,
out of this.
we'll get something out of this." And also, it's a Hulk sequel, which I'm
Yeah.
baffled by, like completely baffled by why it's a Hulk sequel. But
Yeah.
poor Anthony Mackie, man.
Yeah.
Like you get like the chance to like
He felt like he was stripped of all personality in in this movie.
yeah, but I still think
Like,
he did a good job.
well,
Like
yeah, but I like, and I mean that as in like his character feels like like he had that done to
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was all to be fair, like everyone's character I feel like was just like stripped of
Not,
kind of.
I
It
don't
was
think
just like,
Ross was. Harrison Ford, I think he was the one guy who kind of got more out of this than
uh-huh.
William Hurt managed to. Not that's no disrespect to William Hurt's acting. I just mean like he was always like a straight grumbly guy. I feel like Harrison Ford really got to kind of ham it up.
Hmm.
Everyone else had to
Hmm.
tone it down and he had to ham it up, and I enjoyed that.
Um, yeah, I mean, I thought he was, I thought he was quite good. I don't know.
He's just Harrison Ford, isn't he?
I guess because when was this character last in the? When did we last see him? Is he in?
Recently, yeah, recently, like I
Because
do you know I
he's
want to
in
say the
Civil
last
War,
Black
isn't he? Because he
Panther.
does the Sokovia Accords.
He's in yeah. I'm actually amazed that you remember that. That's crazy. He is in Civil War.
That's the only other Captain America
He's
film
in
I've
I
seen.
think he's in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He pops up quite a lot recently. But like a
Okay.
lot of it was kind of archival stuff, cause like not in the context of the show, but a lot of it was like pre-shot stuff because William Hurt was like very much dying.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but I think kind of an insignificant enough character if you're just a, if you don't really care
It was
about.
the sorry to go back to the Sokovia Accords, but that was. Do you know what that was? I think the only moment where I went while I was watching this film. Oh yeah, I remember those. I remember that when he says you destroyed the Avengers with when you published the Sokovia Accords or whatever.
Mm.
I was like, I'm I remember this from Captain America Civil War, where that's what happens in that movie.
The last, for me, the last like genuinely good movie to have come from the MCU. No, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 actually, I think, but
I ain't
I
seen it. I ain't seen it,
don't
mate.
think
I
I've
ain't seen
really
it.
enjoyed any movies as much as that one for a long time.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, do you know the other thing is there's not even that many callbacks in this other than to the Incredible Hulk. It's not even like as a nerd you can sit there and go, oh my God, I know that thing and that thing and that thing because it just feels like a movie with
Yeah.
the Incredible Hulk sequel.
It kind of barely felt like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I don't even know what it felt like. I
It
just felt
just
empty watching it. I felt
yeah,
totally joyless and
yeah.
emotionless, and like I enjoyed a couple of scenes. I liked there's a moment where Sam is kind of interrogating President Ross on like why he's been visiting the leader, Tim Blake Nelson's character,
Hmm.
and they're like having a bit of a back and forth, and President Ross realized he was dying, and that I thought, okay, this is like well acted and it's like tense, and like that was good, and
Yeah.
then would have been even better if they hadn't put the Red Hulk in every trailer. If I didn't
Yeah.
know, because through the whole of uh, President Ross being in the MCU, everyone's gone, "Oh, we're going to see the Red Hulk. Are we going to see it?" And it's kind of looked like, "No, we're not." But they've kind of hinted at it, but we're not. And
Mm.
then, like, I feel to not have put that in there and still keep hinting at it, I genuinely that would have given me some joy from the movie. If that had been a shock, I would have been like, "Oh my God." Like that would be exciting. But because that was in every
Yeah.
trailer, I was just like, okay, like the only twist in the movie, which is that, like, I know.
Mm.
I've already seen every fucking second of him as the Red Hulk in
But
the
then what the fuck else do you
trailers.
put in the trailer? I mean, nothing else happens.
Just,
Or just like war,
do you know what? I don't even get
naval com like very limited
no,
naval combat.
do a Suicide Squad and just put footage that was never meant to be in the movie in there. I don't care. Just cut down on trailers. This is the problem now. Is like we have trailers for movies like 7 months, but like a year before it's out, and like then
Mm.
they have to keep putting out trailers and like just don't. If they had put out one trailer and it was just like kind of like some Top Gun style footage of just him flying through, like he's doing a bit of fighting in the air, and like there's the big celestial body, and you'd be like, okay, that's cool because we've seen that. Like,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
put the
yeah.
Red Hulk in it. Like that makes no sense to me. Put the leader in it. I don't care. I wasn't fussed about him being a secret villain.
Yeah.
Like I don't care enough about him.
Yeah. He was and and Captain America constantly being like it's mind control. He's just using mind control. We never find out like how that works or
No,
like
but you know
anything
what?
about that.
I really wanted to hate
And
on
like
it, but I
how
quite
he
liked
could
it.
possibly have. I I like the
It
idea
felt
in
like very
principle,
Adam
but
West
I just
Batman.
wish they gave
Like,
us a bit more to it, you
yeah,
know?
I thought that, right? I was thinking this and I thought I really want to hate on this. This is so lame and there's been no build up. And then I thought to there's an episode of the maybe it's in the movie, I can't remember. There's an Adam West Batman episode or movie in which in which the Joker just gets his hands on a gun that can just like zap the moisture out of everyone and turn them into piles of dehydrated dust. And it's never explained, and it's never explained how he got it or how this technology exists. It's just there, and just Batman's just like, oh my God, this thing that was already established in my world, don't worry. And I thought, actually,
He's
do you
got
know what?
that gun that we all know
Yeah, I
about.
was like, okay, do you know, what? I wouldn't bash on that, so I can't bash this. Mind control's funny. Like that's fine. I don't care.
I think the mind control thing's quite good. It's quite a good idea, but it's just the fact that it's just like
He's got a big brain.
he's
Doesn't
just
matter.
doing it. He's
That would
got
be
it.
so much more interesting than percentage bullshit, though. Like,
Yeah.
just do that. Just do that through the whole thing. That was kind of
The
cool. Like,
stats crap was so
it was
rubbish.
so
He's so
annoying.
dumb.
And then
It's
the
just
end
like
credit scene as well, if we want to get into that, where he's like,
I
yeah,
I don't want to fucking talk about the
oh
end scene.
no, because I do because it's like the probability that all you heroes, which I thought was so Power Rangers-esque, you've been protecting this world, but the probability says there's more worlds, and what are you gonna do when they come? And I just thought like
What
we
they did
know,
last time,
yeah, like we first of all we've
every
done
other
this like
time that's happened.
we did this with time travel, like this was a thing, but also the multiverse, like we like as an audience, we know you are doing the multiverse now. If you don't have anything new to say in the end credit scene, just don't do one. Like
Yeah.
we know that there's other
What are you gonna
worlds.
do when the other worlds come?
Also, how have you
What?
predicted that? Like I know that's happening. Like they're doing Secret Wars, which is exactly like that's it. It's all the other worlds come and they got to fight. But like how do you know that? How have you predicted that? What probability says that that's going to happen? There's no probability that you could have known about that says that that's going to happen.
He's just watched Secret Wars.
Yeah, do you think he's just like watched like the recap of what's happened? Like some YouTuber is doing a recap of all like the Avengers in real life, and he's watched that and he's been like, oh, there's a
What might
trend.
happen next?
Yeah. He's
Um,
just like a game theories, like he's just like some nerd just
yeah,
theorizing. Like, oh, yeah,
yeah. I
just
don't know. You
so
know what? Actually, you
boring.
know what? You've incited more anger than I felt about this movie than like when I came home after watching it. I kind of just thought like, yeah, whatever,
So
fine.
did
But
I. I've got more
I
talking
feel
about it.
pissed off about it
Yeah.
now.
I think that I didn't feel pissed off and I felt nothing, but if I had paid to see it, I
I'd
would
have
be
been
pissed off.
pissed off.
I had no
Yeah,
expectations and I was still just like, oh, like I like everything
I
should be
paid for
good.
the yeah.
You know, right,
I paid for the bus and a can of Coke and a packet of popcorn in the
right. Well, there you
supermarket before
go.
I went in,
See, you
and
got
that's as much
robbed.
as I was willing to pay for.
You got robbed.
Yeah,
I like the cast. It's got a good cast. It like the story, okay, even if it is a Hulk sequel, which why the hell are you doing that? Like that's fine and promising or
yeah,
whatever, but like I just don't get how you can like they didn't even take a swing and they still missed.
yeah,
I do think it's overhated. I do because I've seen a lot of people come out and say it's like the worst movie ever, and it's really not. But um, yeah, I think it's a shame that this is Harrison Ford's first MCU movie. I think it's a
yeah,
shame that this is, and possibly last. I think it's a shame that this is Anthony Mackie's first Captain America movie,
yeah,
and he's totally like a scapegoat for like bad concepts they haven't been able to fit in other movies, as they've kind of just thrown it all onto him.
yeah.
It's cool that he's going to be like the new lead Avenger, but like then who else is there? So like it kind of obviously had to be him. Um,
I was thinking that also because I don't know where we're at in the
yeah, I
MCU.
know that they don't know.
Who's around? Like,
Everyone and no one and like who knows if there's Captain Marvel but like we're probably not really going to see her again. There's Ant-Man, he's still kicking around. There's Doctor Strange, you got Scarlet Witch, kind of she's dead but like also she's not. Vision is still kicking around in some description. Like there's a lot of them still kicking. Hawkeye's still kicking around and there's Lady Hawkeye, Kate Bishop.
oh
Uh,
God.
I mean, Spider-Man's still kicking around and Thor's still kicking around. Like they're all
Hmm.
here. The Hulk is. So you've got She-Hulk, which is like the ultimate. Hulk sequel vehicle. Like you could do a She-Hulk season two, and we've done the funny lawyer drama. So now what we're gonna do is like Bruce Banner's in it, but Bruce Banner's past is kind of catching up to both of them, and they've got to deal with it, and that makes sense. And you can have the leader, and you can have the Red Hulk, and like brilliant and great. Like why do a Captain America movie for it?
Mhm.
It makes no sense. But with all the hating aside, if we take off like the current sort of like MCU bad goggles, which is like kind of what everyone's just like watching this through, I don't think it's worse than the early MCU movies. I think it's as good as Iron Man 2. It's probably better than Iron Man 3. It's better than any of the Thor movies for me.
Hmm.
It's yeah,
I
it's fine.
I actually prefer Thor Thor with uh the Thor with
If you say
the
Thor
Thor movie
Ragnarok, I'm
with
gonna be
the
so
Thor
upset.
movie with the goats.
With the goats,
Yeah.
Thor Love and Thunder. Is this because you
Yeah.
didn't like that movie and you just are saying
No,
even
I
that's
no,
better?
because I
You
liked
liked
that
that one.
movie.
Do you know what? I liked that movie, and everyone in the world hated it and thought it was
I know,
awful.
I know. I thought it was quite fun.
I
I
thought
had
it
a
was
good
more fun
time
than
watching it.
Ragnarok, but everyone liked Ragnarok, and
Hmm.
I didn't, and I did like Love and Thunder.
I had a good
Yeah,
time watching Love and Thunder.
um, yeah, because do you know what? Even that, like, the specific bit that comes to mind is when they go to that planet where everything is like in shadow, so it's all black and
Hmm.
white, except Gore, the God Butcher's eyes, and like Thor's lightning,
Hmm.
and that cast light. Like even that, like stylistically, it's a very nice
Looks
scene that
cool.
has some
Yeah.
cool thought put into it, and there's a few things that like have some thought put into it.
Hmm.
Whereas this doesn't feel like it has any of that. It feels like they kind of like they put the cherry blossoms in that one part of like the White House surroundings, and they were like, "Oh well, there's color, so
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, give us points." But no, it just looks rubbish.
Mm,
Like the aerial combat stuff could have been done cool if it was like done like a Top Gun style, like you know.
mm.
I don't know, man. I don't hate it. I,
I just felt like
I feel indifferent.
I'd neither lost nor gained anything when I left
Yeah,
the cinema.
I just think we're at a really sort of depressing time for mainstream movie. Let's say mainstream movies, but I mean like big franchise movies.
Hmm.
Uh, where yeah, they truly don't. They like they just feel like filler, like time filler. Like oh, I've got a couple hours spare, might as well.
Mm.
Like not even like oh, I've got a couple hours spare. I've been really looking forward to this movie, and it's like gonna enrich my life. It just feels like a ugh, I've got nothing better to do,
Yeah.
and I just don't care. And it's really weird that the TV shows are the bit that's carrying the MCU for me at the minute. Loki was really good. Moon Knight was pretty good. Daredevil is coming out in like 2 weeks, and that I think is going to be really good. But like really bizarre that that's like if you'd said,
Daredevil's gonna be what's gonna be carrying the
yeah,
MCU in
yeah,
yeah.
the Loki mini series and Daredevil are going to be carrying the
Yeah, yeah,
MCU,
yeah.
I'd have gone, nah. I mean, maybe Daredevil I would have believed because it was always very good, but
Daredevil's
yeah,
always been a fave
yeah, it's
Marvel
brilliant.
character of mine.
I mean, the show is excellent. I don't know if you've watched it, but
I haven't actually, but I just
I'm
remember I
shocked by
always
that.
used to remember him showing up in
I don't expect MCU to be high art, but I would like if it was at least
thought
fun
about.
or thought about. I just wish it felt
Yeah.
like you said, it feels like it wasn't directed.
Yeah.
It feels like it was produced. It feels like there were a lot of producers around the
Mm,
table with a lot of money, and I think that is very evident in the inclusion of an aforementioned Israeli character. Like there's a lot of money being thrown about for a lot of decisions to be made, but it doesn't feel
mm,
like any actual artists are behind it.
mm.
And that's something we spoke about Fantastic Four earlier. That's the one thing I liked about the trailer for that is it has a very specific. vision
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that this didn't have.
Yeah. This movie felt like it felt like catching up on a lesson that you missed. You know,
Yeah,
you don't have any kind of like direction from the teacher actually telling you what to do. You've just got to fill in a couple of weird
yeah,
worksheets that you kind of have to Google
and
the
it's kind
answers
of
to on
like
your own.
this is kind of homework for the next Avengers movie, except.
Yeah.
But if you didn't do it, nobody's gonna know. If you didn't do that catch up lesson, you're probably not gonna miss out
Re-
hugely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's if you're thinking about going to see this movie, if you have to pay for it, don't bother. Wait for it to come out on
Unless you
Disney
really
Plus,
want
you know.
to,
No,
but in
but
which
even
case
then,
you'll,
just
you
I
know,
tell you what, if you really want to go and pay to see it, let that anticipation build up till it comes out on Disney Plus for free.
yeah,
Think how
yeah,
excited you'll be by the time it comes out if you bottle it all up, you know. And I'm sure it'll pay off. I'm sure that'll be worth it for you.
it'll be totally worth it.
Mm. If you have
Trust.
yeah, a real big interest in a winged Captain America.
And the Sokovia Accords,
But if you do have a big interest
if
in the
you like
Sokovia
them,
Accords, they don't play a part in it at all. They're mentioned
they're
once.
mentioned.
They are mentioned once. Yeah,
Um,
I mean, whatever, man.
better or worse than 1990s Captain America.
Um,
So I just on Letterboxd at Mark
mm,
Wahlberg fan, follow me.
mm, I'll
Um,
link it.
I gave this movie 2 stars,
Mm,
and I gave 1990s Captain America 1.5 stars.
okay. Yeah.
But I, I actually
A classic
no,
Clovenhoof move here.
no,
We might switch them.
and I'm actually gonna go back on my nearly switching them because
Yeah,
you actually
no,
just
this got
can't
two and a
say
half
that.
stars for me, and the
Yeah,
1991 got like half. I think it got half a star. This movie is this movie is not a bad movie, right?
yeah.
Okay, it is a bad movie if you think about really good movies, but like as
It's a
far
fine movie, but
as
it's a shit time.
if you really just switch off, really switch your brain off, and just sit there, and you can then think, all I'm here to see is just like some guys punch some other guys and fly through some cars with their wings. And there's some cool actions. Okay, that's something that's
Hmm.
good. Let's talk about good things. Some of the action sequences are quite cool. The vibranium wings are quite cool. Like he does some
Hmm.
cool things
Magic.
with that. Yeah, whatever. Like, you know, I mean, does the same as all other MCU like MacGuffins where they all just pulse energy out of them and whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool, kind of. If
MacGuffins.
Yeah, if all you're interested in is cool MacGuffins
This is the movie for you.
and you really want to tamely clap at Bucky Barnes, like cool. Otherwise, just go watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, just it's better, and
Mm.
even that's fine, you
Mm.
know. But like, whatever. I don't know. It's better than 1990s Captain America.
It
Um,
is.
whatever we watch next. We won't set anything yet, but whatever we watch next will be
Will be
better.
better than
I don't
this.
care what it is. I don't care if I'm watching like a visual representation of a fart. It will be better than both of these movies. But like
A live leak compilation.
yeah, I don't know if I want to commit to that being the truth, but like, yeah, I just
Yeah.
don't care. I wish I did, and that makes me really sad. Like
Mm.
because
It just feels like they didn't either. It feels like
no.
they're experiencing the same
Which
fatigue.
I get, but then in which case, if like it's obvious, it's true. Like if they don't,
Yeah.
they're done with it and they don't care, and it's a money thing. But
Yeah.
just like, just take a break.
Yeah.
Just take a break. Just say
Wait
like,
to get somebody on board,
that really does care.
yeah.
Yeah, I would do. James Gunn has gone over to DC and he's taken this approach of, and he said this in like in podcasts and whatnot, is that there is no set slate for movies until someone brings him a script he likes and then it will go on the slate. People have
Hmm.
questioned, oh, why is there a Clayface movie coming out before a Batman movie? And his answer is, well, because someone bought me a good script for a Clayface movie. take that approach. Let people shop it to you, not the other way around. Like, let's
Mm.
stop connecting everything and let someone go, oh, okay, I'm really enthusiastic about making a Captain America movie. Here's my script.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then make it. Stop rifling through the box of old scripts and then assigning it to a character.
Yeah. I don't know, because I mean, I'm not, I wasn't the last Deadpool movie's biggest fanatic. Um,
I forgot
but
about
that,
it, but I did
but
like
it,
it.
but it's got, it's got merit to it. There's funny moments.
A lot more because it
There's,
feels like someone cared about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that one felt like the most of the Deadpool movies. That one felt far and away the most of a cash grab.
Yeah.
But even that,
Yeah.
there was like something. There were a couple of funny bits, yeah, and like,
I think the thing about that one is that Ryan Reynolds does not see Deadpool as a vehicle to further his career. Like this
hmm
is this is kind of a career defining thing for him. Like this is it. Whereas I think a lot of people, I think Anthony Mackie probably feels the same about Captain America. As everyone in it kind of just feels like, okay, well, I'll do this movie and then I'll get offers from movies I actually want to do. And that's the difference is that I think with that is the people making Deadpool and Wolverine, like they were making something they wanted to make.
hmm hmm
Shouldn't shouldn't take a genius to work out that that's probably a good recipe for movies. Like,
yeah,
people making things they want to make.
yeah.
Oh,
Something Kevin Feige doesn't seem to be able to get his head around.
yeah. Does Kevin Feige even want to make these anymore?
Like, probably not. I wouldn't if I was him.
I would, because I'd have a
He's
point to
made
prove
like
by now. If everyone's going, yeah, Kevin Feige, you've made 40 movies and 20 of them are mid, I'd be like, okay, well, I
make
probably
one
want
more
to,
good one and then
yeah,
retire.
yeah, I want to kind of tip the scales a little bit. I'll finish this phase of the MCU off with a bang, and then I'll take a break.
Yeah.
Finish it off well,
Made 50,000 hours of Marvel content.
God,
He can't be liking it anymore.
no. Do you know what? The final thing I'll say about this movie is if in a year's time I found out that it was written by AI, I would be like, yeah,
Yeah. Or at the very least assisted.
yeah, or like
Come
shot
up with
by
a
like storyboarded by AI. I'd be like,
yeah.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Come up with an interesting idea for for a Hulk sequel set however many years in the future,
Yeah,
featuring the leader like Captain America and
not the Hulk.
not the Hulk.
Not the Hulk at all. Really
Yeah.
baffling. At least include the Hulk in the Hulk sequel. Crazy they wrapped up like all of his like unfinished storylines without him.
Yeah.
I'd be really annoyed if I was Bruce Banner and I found out Captain America dealt with my villains. Like, hang on a fucking minute, leave me something.
Do you think they have that? Do they, like, no, that's my
Yeah,
nemesis.
I really would if I found out that like I had like a 10-year arch nemesis and you went and just like dealt with him in like just another day. Like, I'd be like, hang on a minute.
Hey, hold on.
Yeah, like at least let me have closure, you know?
Imagine if like Captain Marvel just like laser-eyed the Green Goblin one day, just blew his head
Yeah,
up.
but this is the thing. This is like if it's like if like the fucking Red Skull comes back, but he comes back in a Spider-Man movie.
That's,
Like, and they
that's
and they were like, "Oh my God, Captain America's biggest arch nemesis is back." And Spider-Man's like, "Yeah, like I don't care, but I'll deal with it, whatever." Just like
yeah, yeah,
punches
yeah.
him, and that's that. People would question that, but I think this is just like like people have gotten to the point of not caring that nobody gives a toss. Like that,
Mm.
whatever. Yeah, better than Captain America 1990. Who's shocked? Not me.
No, like everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
We'll be back in like in a week or two. Let us get this
With
one out and see where we're at. We'll maybe do Daredevil,
if you're
maybe.
lucky.
Maybe I'm just saying that to get you on board. Maybe we won't just become MCU the podcast, but maybe we will.
Maybe
Who
we're gonna really,
knows?
really kiss Kevin Feige's ass for the next couple of months.
Maybe we'll do so good a job at doing MCU the podcast that Kevin Feige will get us to do Captain America 5.
That would be, I mean, that would be quite something.
I would put the Hulk in it, but not Captain America. But I'd have him
I'd
fight Captain America villains.
I'd make the Hulk become the new Captain America and also give him the wings
I
and
was
the
gonna say I'd
shield.
make the Hulk the new Falcon, and then make Sam Wilson the new Hulk.
Ooh.
Yeah, also no brainer. Take the serum.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
No
Yeah.
brainer. Like, don't be
He's
high
just
and
like, oh,
mighty
I
about it.
wish I'd taken the serum.
Like
It's
in
just
the
like
yeah,
you could. You
you
still
could
could.
have in the series. He's like, yeah, but I don't need it, and I'm gonna give people an aspiration to look up to. It's like, yeah, but you're gonna die doing it. Like, you're gonna get mashed by the Hulk. You know. I
Like in
mean,
a minute.
don't let your pride get in the way. He
Yeah.
even says after he's just been mashed by the Hulk, he's like, "Oh,
It's
Bucky was wrong.
like
I
it was
should have taken it or
yeah.
whatever." Like, yeah, you just noticed.
Yeah. Lackluster.
Oh,
That's how I
also,
describe that movie.
fucking kill some people off. Stop, like edging us with death. Like, stop, Falcon number two drops into the sea, and we're supposed to believe he's dead, but because nobody dies in these things,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
just kill some people. Stop leaving everyone with dangling threads.
Mm.
You can't possibly wrap it all up.
They're not going to. They're gonna run out of money before they can.
Yeah, no, quite well, no, they'll never run out of money. It's like infinite money laundering. But anyway, thank you for listening, everyone. We will be back in a week or two. Hopefully, you had as much and or as little fun as we did doing this. Um,
Either way, we just hope it was the same.
yeah, follow us on whatever you're listening to. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Follow Mark Wahlberg, the real Mark Wahlberg, and Alfie Mark Wahlberg on Letterboxd. Follow Donnie Wahlberg on Letterboxd. I won't ever see it because I'm not logged into that account, but it's funny anyway. Um,
Follow them both.
Follow them both, and we'll talk about another thing in a week or two. Maybe we'll fight the Hulk's villains. It
I
feels
mean,
like there's
someone's got to do it.
someone's got to do it apparently.
Because he ain't fucking doing it.
Yeah, exactly. He's nowhere to be found. Yeah, thank you very much, and goodbye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.